where you see the sequence of events kind of taking place.
I believe you guys are just starting to storyboard, right? Those of you that weren't here yesterday, starting to storyboard. Okay.
But I have to credit, I love sci-fi. That's one of my favorite genres. So that you're exploring that just really excites me, because you can do so much with that, because in that world, there's no limits.
Yeah.
And you can make anything possible, which is great. It's a great way to explore. So if you're unhappy with it, you can just add a new element and just add something that you want to see happen. You know, it's fun. And I think with that story, so we can start asking questions of kind of, you know, what is there, like one word you would use to describe the story?
What's essential?
Yeah, what is essential to the story? Is it adventure or friendship or
Greed or
Gratitude.
irony?
Yeah.
Irony, I guess.
Okay. And so why would you pick that word? What?
She said it and it kind of makes sense.
And why does it make
It's a very
sense?
ironic story. Nothing
Okay.
nothing goes the way you'd think it would be.
Oh, see, that's funny. Yeah. So you can kind of play with that. And if things are just not going the way that they should, you can play with that ending however you want. It doesn't have to be a crystal cut type of ending if that's the world that we live in, where nothing goes as planned.
Mm-hmm.
One word that popped into my head was gratitude. It seems like the main character has a problem with the way the world is in front of her, and maybe the lesson that he needs to learn is that maybe she just doesn't need to change the world. Maybe the change needs to be in her to adapt to the way the world is, really.
What do you think about that, Ellie?
I like that.
No,
I don't really know.
It could be that she doesn't learn anything either. It could be that, you know, like I think what Stephanie was saying, that it's just kind of like you want to do this big thing and oh my God, you haven't learned anything. Like, okay, which is fine. That's a very human trait.
And it's kind of, it can be sort of comedic in that way, I guess. Like, and Nellie, were you going for comedy?
Kinda.
Okay,
I think
that helps. The tone, right?
Yeah.
Helps, Christine?
Yeah, the tone definitely helps. So if you're thinking of it, and when you say irony, it's kind of that dry humor, I think, of it's funny, but it's also like these terrible situations that happen that you want to see resolved but don't get resolved. But it's like, oh my gosh, like that's the way that it goes. So I think you can kind of just explore that. And if you kind of have those things in mind of like irony, comedy, and greed, or, you know, just keeping those words in mind, I think will help you kind of play with it a little bit more.
I know that as actors that we were often taught to pick 3 words that describe our world. So when you show up in an audition for a film, they hand you 3 pieces of white paper with lines on it from a show you've never seen or a movie that hasn't been filmed yet. And you have to create a world, right? And so you would read the script and say, okay, I think this is the world of, you know, traffic accidents and pollution. So then I'm like, okay, this is where I am right now. This informs everything about how I'm acting, because all around me all the time is noise and pollution, you know? So helping to create the world around the character, I think will help all of you too, to figure out, you know, where you're placing them. Because we've spent a lot of time, I think, fleshing out the characters, right, guys? Answering questions like, what do I want and where am I going? So yeah, now we're trying to figure out the worlds to put them in. So where does it take place? Do you have a setting now? Not yet. Okay, something to think about.
Yeah, could be any universe, any planet.
Yeah, and what's it like there? And how does that inform how the characters behave? Does anyone else want to ask? Oh, go ahead, Christine.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's interesting that you talk about what you learn in your in acting, because in writing we were taught to, you know, ask the question of what matters. So what matters in this story, and you just kind of like free write what matters. Like just, it can be like one word, it can be sentences, but you just kind of keep igniting that thought of like what matters in this story. What am I trying to uncover here?
Free write that and see
write that.
Yeah, that's a great exercise.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Awesome.
we'd love to hear some other stories.
Yeah, anyone else want to share a piece of their story and we can try to help you fit it in a little bit?
I do love a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, David, can you tell us a little bit about where your story begins since you've got it up on your screen?
Actually, that was supposed to be a random name, like the other stuff, like loading to audio, even though already loaded.
Okay. Well, like, speak up a little bit and let me see your a whole face so we can get your words. And can you just tell us a sentence or two about your story?
I don't know.
Are you a Star Wars fan?
Yes.
Me too. That's why I liked your name. I was like, ooh, because R2D2 is my favorite character of all time.
Cute.
So
Lovable.
is it, I'm curious, are you writing a sci-fi thing as well? Is that a genre that you're interested in?
No, not really.
Okay. What is the kind of theme of what the story that you're writing?
Well, it's supposed to be kind of modern.
Okay. Kind of
Okay.
taking place in today's world?
Yes, but I'm not anywhere near done thinking of like anything.
You're
I've
still
still
figuring it
got the characters down, but no story at all, pretty much.
It's about the characters.
out. Okay, yeah, start there. Tell us about the characters.
Well, there's one that has a flamethrower, and the other one's an investigator.
Ooh.
What is he investigating?
Yeah.
I don't know where the outpost is.
Oh, there's an outpost.
Outpost.
Yes,
for-
that's where the dude with the flamethrower is.
Okay. So is he investigating the flamethrower? No. Are they friends?
No.
Okay.
The outpost is supposed to be like an illegal outpost.
Okay.
And like, where is that exactly? What kind of a setting?
I don't know, like deep in a cave or a hill, nowhere populated.
No, that's what I was thinking, somewhere remote. I was thinking Antarctica for some reason, but I don't know if that's what you were thinking. Okay, so you kind of have a setting and two characters.
Yeah. That's a
So
great start. Yeah.
maybe the investigator, maybe he is investigating not
The investigator lives in England.
in England.
Okay,
English investigator.
all right. And why is that important, David, that he lives in England?
Oh, nothing really.
Okay, you just like that idea. Okay.
A Sherlock Holmes sort of character.
I could see that.
Yeah.
You can visualize that, Calder?
Investigator.
Nice. Nice.
And I
Okay.
kind of like that duality of an English investigator and this like cave flamethrower, like very opposite kind of worlds colliding is kind of a neat
Yeah.
place to start.
Yeah, good start. So you just need to figure out where they're going on your story arc, David. You know, what they want and how that propels them through the story, trying to get it. Does that make sense?
The character, maybe to help it along, the character who with the flamethrower needs to do something really bad with it, right?
And it's
He's
something
already
that
done a lot.
he's already done a lot of bad with it. Okay. All right. So we
Mostly
just
stays at the
He mostly-
outpost.
okay. Okay. I think you can definitely work with those pieces. Is there anything
Hold on,
else?
I'll
that
be
you
right back.
Okay, Miss Christine is only staying for about like 2 more minutes, so you might want to hang in there. Does anyone else have a question for Miss Christine before we release her? And thank you so much for coming and sharing your knowledge. And
These stories are giving me inspiration too. It's so exciting to hear when fresh ideas take place and to talk about stories, and it's lovely.
Calder.
Calder, question?
Do you know any famous people?
Yes, we ask that of everyone. Thank you for not forgetting that question.
I probably do. I have to think. I mean, I've met Robert Redford a couple times, and I don't know if you kids would know who that is, though.
Well, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
That's a classic.
Y'all should know that. If you don't, look it up.
Yeah. And I mean, Stephanie and Andrew, I know them, and they're on their way to fame.
That's awesome. Is there any way that we could see a little of something that you have written that we might be able to share a link with the kids after class that you would share with us? Okay.
Yeah, I will.
That would be great. Would love that. Anything else, you guys, before we give Miss Christina a round of applause? Ask questions? All right. Thank you so much, Miss Christine. Don't do that.
Thank you all for sharing your stories with me too. I know that's not easy, so thank you.
It is hard. That's a good point.
Yeah.
It takes courage. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so
Round of
much.
applause to all of you.
Round of applause.
Woo!
Well, it's good to see your face, even tiny and on the screen.
Best of luck with everything, and I hope to hear some of your stories soon.
We'll keep you updated. We'll keep you
Okay.
posted. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.